Hello, Barmy Badger Army. Welcome to today's show. We just had some really sad news. I was choked up off camera and I thought, no, I've got to compose myself. Hulk Hogan of NWO and WWF fame has sadly passed away from cardiac arrest. Now, this is a real choker. I can't believe the legend of Hulkamania has passed away. It was really upsetting for me, and I bet it's been really upsetting for you. What with Ozzy's death and several other celebrities that have died recently as well, this is not the present we want from 2025. Hulk Hogan has been a character within our hearts for many years and many loves. He's a flawed character, no doubt. There's been lots of controversy, lots of rumours and lots of lies connected in with him. But that being said, he's a wrestling legend and an awesome, awesome character on and off screen. I am devastated. I really am. He was one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. You know, what with the whole chopping down the mountain and getting to body slam Andre the Giant and fighting The Undertaker, and of course fighting all these new characters that popped up, and of course the Mr. America stuff, and of course the NWO. I mean, the NWO was fantastic, wasn't it? With him, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and of course Hulk Hogan, or Hollywood Hulk Hogan, as he was known in WCW. Now, that would always be etched into my memory. Hogan's heel turn was perhaps one of the best heel turns of all time. No one expected it to happen. Certainly no one at all. And it's insane that a legend has died like that. Now, NWO was one of my favourites. It was like WCW's version of the D-Generation X thing, and of course Bullet Club and things like that. It was WCW's answer, and NWO took over popular culture by the graffiti style thing on the belts, the badass attitude, the gang mentality, the not caring about the fans. You know, there's even instances of Hogan spitting on people and ripping up signs and beating up fans and all sorts of stuff in the past. So, that being said, of course, some of that was kayfabe, but he was and will always be the ultimate heel in wrestling. But it's weird because he's the ultimate heel, but also the ultimate babyface. The two sides are very much similar to what John Cena's doing at the minute. But yes, brother, what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? Oh, but yeah. The Hulk Hogan era of NWO was chef's kiss. The heel turn, the different things that they got up to, the fighting of Goldberg, the fighting of WCW, the fact that it spawned video games, comic books, merch constantly that's still being sold today is insane. And that's all because of Hogan's heel turn. NWO will always live, and so will Hulk Hogan. I am blessed to be a fan of his, and I can't imagine a world without that icon. I really can't. Does anyone remember Hogan Knows Best? Because that was hilarious TV. That really was one of my favourite shows. Obviously, you had, you know, the Osbournes, and you had Hogan Knows Best, and that was fantastic. Some of the stuff that Hogan used to get up to on that show, like trying to buy the George Foreman grill, some sort of weird energy drink that they tried to release, and all these weird things like happened with him. And it was just so comical and brilliant and serious at the same time. But that man will be missed and he will be mourned. He was a beloved guy in the industry here and there. You either loved or hated him. But what you can say is that he was a legend and he brought so much happiness to so many hearts. He was an old school John Cena, wasn't he? And John Cena has pulled that and doing that now, isn't he? His final run, heel turn. But Hogan is just a legend that will never fade. And my favourite match of his has to have been one of his later matches, actually, and that's definitely the Icon versus Icon match. Him and The Rock. Perfect storytelling, perfect pacing, and a fantastic end of the match. You had a slow build where they filled each other out. You had minimal action, but it was filled with in-ring psychology and so much greatness. So much greatness. You could feel the electricity of the crowd, and when they did go toe-to-toe and the action really started, it was great. And that, of course, brought about Hogan's new face turn afterwards, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that match was iconic, and it's one of the best matches I've ever seen. Icon versus Icon was great. The Rock versus Hulk Hogan, and I personally think it cemented The Rock's career in WWE as a future legend. And of course, it's probably what brought him to the dance with TKO and everything now. Hogan is a living, breathing legend in all of our hearts, and he will be missed. And I just think he needs more recollection now. Everyone needs to realise that Hogan did big up the WWF, did big up WCW. Although he brought nearly TNA to its knees, unfortunately, he still put eyes on the product. Hogan has had everything for himself, and it's fantastic in a way, but also bittersweet and a bit rubbish at the same time. Because obviously, he was an old school John Cena character, but I still loved him even though he did all those weird and wonderful things, and I will miss him. Even though he was a flawed character, it's upsetting because he is the icon of wrestling. When you ask someone who's their favourite wrestler or what wrestler do you know, 9 times out of 10, everyone will say Hulk Hogan. And I'm going to miss him. I really am. And like I said, the Icon versus Icon match was so brilliant. If you've never seen The Rock versus Hogan, check it out. That era of Hogan, where he fought The Undertaker, Rock, Vince McMahon, and loads of others, was iconic. I am going to miss him. He was a nutty guy, but he was a cool guy. That doesn't work for me, brother. What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? Let me know your thoughts on Hulk Hogan. Was he a wrestling icon or a flop? Did he take over the industry? All these different complicated things. You tell me in the comments what you thought of Hogan. Do you think he was the ultimate baby face, or was he better in the NWO? Comment and let me know. And I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. I will see you all soon, Barmy Badger Army. Look after yourselves. Keep safe. Keep well. Much love. And I'll see you in the next vlog, video stream, movie or short. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.